So let's talk new home construction and active adults. You know, for many retirees, building a new home is almost like coming out of retirement and taking on a new project. Many of them are so excited to get their hands wrapped around something to do. Don't be surprised if they show up with a level and a flashlight on the job site. So the key to working with this home buyer is this. The construction team and the sales team have to be sure that they work together. Basically, with this home buyer, if you say maybe, to them, it basically means yes. So as a team, you have to work together, sales and construction, to ensure that you're setting proper expectations throughout the entire home building process. So some of the things you want to be mindful of. Make sure that you have them sign off at all the cutoff stages. I at one time worked with a design center coordinator. She had a great business practice of actually having them initial each and every individual choice that they made on the design selection sheet. Another thing you want to do with this buyer is you want to make sure that they actually attend all the construction walks, because if they're not there, trust me, they're going to come back and they're going to say something was missing or there was a mistake with somebody, and it's going to turn out to just be a heartache for everybody. The other thing, you want to make sure with this buyer that you do implement a change order fee. Basically, you want to have a penalty that if they start making changes, that it hurts a little bit to discourage them from making changes. So, another thing I want you to be mindful of with this buyer is try to control their visits to the site as best you can. And what I mean by that is if you can post signage that says you must have a hard hat, you can't just walk on the site, you need to be in the company of a construction person or a salesperson, this will go a long way. Because here's the issue, this buyer's got nothing to do. It's not unlikely for them to show up every day, walk the house, and give you a new fresh set of concerns on a daily basis. So do the best you can to discourage them from visiting the house on a daily basis. So, another thing I want to encourage you to do is during the construction walks, you want to set some really good expectations related to quality. And basically, the model home should be the standard of quality. If there's an issue with the home, it should reflect the same quality as the model. You should be comfortable saying to a buyer, hey, walk the model, you're going to see the same little sheetrock blemishes and flaws that you see in your home, and that's perfectly normal and within our tolerances. And speaking of tolerances, there are other things that you're going to want to over-disclose. Some of the things you're going to want to over-disclose are things related to like the grain in granite or the grain in hardwood, that these are natural products, whether it's stone, tile, or marble. You're going to get a buyer that's going to love the house and they're going to come in and tell you they don't like the grain in the granite. And one of the best ways of fending off those complaints is having them sign off on a disclosure that discloses these are just natural products and that comes with the territory. Another thing, I can't stress this enough, is you want to be consistent in anything extra you do for a client. You know, I like to say, I worked in a community, we gave away some extra designer doorknobs. Well, I mean to tell you, we ended up giving thousands of doorknobs away. Why? Because this buyer talks. They get out there and they talk to everybody. So here's the point. Don't do anything for one individual that you're not prepared to do for all individuals. If you give for one, you better be ready to give it to all of them. So, another thing you want to do is you want to become familiar with the ADA requirements in your area. What is ADA? That is the American with Disability Acts. The reason I bring this up is this buyer, a lot of them are aging and a lot of them have ailments and a lot of them have disability issues and mobility issues, and they're going to ask for modifications to the home. So you've got to decide as a company, you know, how will you handle these requests? How will you handle the deposits? Who's going to pay for them? How do you verify that they're actually real requests? I've worked in communities where they came up and they actually will fake these requests simply to get the customization to the home they want by disguising it as an ADA request. So are you going to have deposits? Who's going to pay for them? What's the process? How do you verify? All that's an integral part of it. Another issue I can't emphasize enough is if you have a lawn care program. Make sure that you over disclose everything. And what I mean by that is what's covered. How often do you do the hedging and the trimming? If there's pine straw or the beds are being treated with crushed stone or pine straw, how often does that take place? How about fertilization and chemicals? Let me tell you, this buyer, they're at home all day with nothing to do. You might get a phone call, something like this. Hey, you missed 3 blades of grass. Come on back out here and fix my yard. They've got no problem doing that, and they will. Another issue is watering. So if your program it requires that they maintain the lawn, maintain the plantings, let me tell you, this buyer is very conscious of their annual and monthly expenses. I've seen many home buyers that purposely shut off the irrigation system and the lawn or plants die, and then they come back to the builder looking for replacement. So make sure, again, that you over disclose all these things so the consumer is fully aware of what the expectations are on their behalf. So let's recap. First thing you want to do, work as a team, sales and construction. Number 2, set those proper expectations from the beginning and keep those expectations consistent throughout the entire process. Number 3, over disclose everything and you'll be on the right track and you'll make this buyer happy. We'll see you in the next video.